is you versus you.
An obsession comes in the small details that nobody pays attention to.
Because our obsessions become our possessions.
You hear this all the time. Don't sweat the small stuff. The 1%ers, the 0.01, they sweat every single detail.
I'm obsessed with it. With win or bust.
You have to be disciplined. The key there is you. Winning requires you to be different, and different scares me.
A few moments later.
Nothing great to deal with adversity and pain tolerance.
The price you will pay for not winning is infinitely greater than the price you will ever pay to win.
It's everything, and it's in the details. If I can do it, why can't they? You gotta fight like hell.
That if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it.
It's the ones that can fight, the ones that come back, those are the ones that succeed. Those are the icons. Paradise starts in hell.
And if you simply go after that thing that you want.
You're not fucking born with greatness. You earn greatness.
I don't care how you get there, goals to me, period.
Different scares people. And anytime anybody's told me I'm crazy, I've always thanked them for that. Because it gave me the ability to see and do things that other people can't do, and acknowledge things that other people won't acknowledge. If you're obsessed with taking your business, your sport, whatever it is, to another level, stand up. You must be able to deal with pain.
Do something that the world's never done before. Let's hope that it's insanely hard to do. The reason why you choose something insanely hard to do, by the way, so that you have lots of time to go learn it. If something is insanely easy to do, like tic-tac-toe, I wouldn't, fuss over it. And the reason for that, obviously, is highly competitive. And so you got to choose something that's incredibly hard to do. And that thing that's hard to do discourages a whole bunch of other, all by itself, because the person who's willing to suffer the longest wins. And so we choose things that are incredibly hard to do. And you've heard me say pain and suffering a lot. And it's actually a positive attribute. People who can suffer are ultimately the ones that are the most successful. Number one. Number two, you should choose something that somehow you're destined to do. Either a set of qualities about your personality or your expertise or the people you're surrounded by, your scale, whatever your perspective, whatever you're somehow destined to do. And then number three, you better love working on that thing so much, because unless so, the pain and suffering is too great.
It's about an ancient Chinese bamboo tree. And the process, remember that word, process, to growing this tree was just insane. So obviously you plant it in the soil, you water and fertilize it, but you have to water and fertilize it every single day. You miss one day, it dies in the ground. Now, here's what's crazy, is that nothing grows from the surface for 5 years. So you're watering something, you're working towards something, and you cannot visibly see the fruits of your labor. You guys ever been there? I'm putting in so much work, I'm doing everything right, but I'm not seeing the results I want to see. So what do most of us do? Many of us give up. Here's what's incredible, is that on that 5th year of watering this tree, it only takes 9 weeks to grow 90 feet tall. Here's a question that we have to ask ourselves is, did it take 9 weeks to grow this tree? Or 5 years and 9 weeks to grow this tree? Answer's obvious, right? It took 5 years plus those 9 weeks. Everybody saw the 9 weeks. Everybody sees the blow up. Everybody can see that, but what they don't see is the underground work. The working while everybody else is wasting time. The believing, even when you go through failure and failure and failure. Even when people give up on you, even the people who you're doing it for, can you still water that dream? Can you still water that goal?
The most important thing is you have to there's two sides. It's really sort of the intellectual or mental side. You have to pick a business that has a niche. You have to have a reason to succeed. You have to be something like we were doing, say, Japan can beat Germany in manufacturing of this type of a product. That was the niche, really. And then on that, you just have to have a total and complete passion, because there's going to be so many dark moments. I think the dark moments are true for any entrepreneur or any startup company. I'm sure that you talk to Steve Jobs and Apple, you'd see many, many dark moments. Ours happened to last a little longer than most of them, but you really emotionally have to be prepared for those dark moments.
One of my favorite Chinese proverbs is, the man who blames others has a long way in his journey to go. The man who blames himself is halfway there. And the man who blames no one has already arrived.
You can go from failure to success, but you can't go from excuses to success. Do more than what anyone else would ever expect out of you. That's the John Maxwell way. That's who we are. You can go from failure to success, but you can't go from excuses to success. Do more than what anyone else would ever expect out of you. That's the John Maxwell way. That's who we are.
That's Miyamoto Musashi on my right arm. And he wrote this book, The Book of Five Rings, which was a book on strategy. And Miyamoto Musashi was a samurai who killed 62 men in one-on-one combat. And he wrote this quote, wrote this incredible book about it, but one of the things he wrote in the book was, once you understand the way broadly, you can see it in all things. And I think that all difficult things are development. They aid you in developing your human potential. And you find a way to get out of your own way by getting good at all kinds of things. You cut through the bullshit. You think you're great at skateboarding? No, you're not. You suck at it. You got to get better at it. And the only way to get better at it is to practice it until you get better at it. And then you find that way. And in that way of getting better at that, you could apply that to playing the piano. You could apply that to playing chess. Everything. You could apply that to everything. And that's why I have this tattoo. That's what it means to me.
You have to make every single detail perfect, and you have to limit the number of details. That's it. Every detail perfect, limit the number of details. If you can do that well, no matter where you are in the org structure, no matter where you are in the company or organization, you're going to succeed because you're paying attention to the smallest things. And if you pay attention to the smallest things while knowing what's important, then everything else takes care of itself. You have to make every single detail perfect, and you have to limit the number of details. That's it. Every detail perfect, limit the number of details. If you can do that well, no matter where you are in the org structure, no matter where you are in the company or organization, you're going to succeed because you're paying attention to the smallest things. And if you pay attention to the smallest things while knowing what's important, then everything else takes care of itself.
He asked me one question, and that question transformed my life. And he said, are you interested in achieving these goals, or are you committed? And I stopped, and I looked at him. He was standing up. I was sitting at my desk there at his office. And I asked him, Mr. Brown, I said, what's the difference? And he said, if you're interested, you'll do what's convenient. You'll come up with stories and excuses and reasons why you can't, and you'll use your education as an excuse. You'll use your story as an excuse. You'll use the fact your father was a cab driver and was a gambler and never had any money. You'll use all of that as your reasons why you can't. He says, but if you're committed, you will do whatever it takes. You'll let go of your stories. You'll let go of your excuses. You'll let go of all the reasons you currently have that are formulating your identity of yourself.